How's it going, my dudes? This video's brought to you by Squarespace today.
For every ship in a bottle, there's a conspiracy. These are the huge threads that sit waiting for someone to pull at them, yet nothing has yet come. So what gives, Star Trek? What are you waiting for? Star Trek Lower Decks has been doing the rounds, aptly visiting worlds and plots for a second contact here and there. Symbiosis got a sequel nearly 40 years later as the Cerritos visited Onara, while they also checked in on Armus following up from Skin of Evil. One wonders then, what about the worlds that have yet to pop up again? Are they still standing, or have they been swept away by the passage of time? Did Starfleet wash their hands of them, or have they simply been consigned to the great to-do list in the sky? Star Trek has a lot of episodes that don't end in a neat little bow, so here's some of the ones that need a bit of tying. I'm Sean Ferrick for TrekCulture, and here are 10 Star Trek stories that deserved a sequel. Number 10. What happened to the Sona who never went home? With Ruafo dead and Starfleet's plans to relocate the Baku on indefinite hold, some of the Sona are invited to settle on their world again. Their extensive life-extending procedures may take up to 10 years to reverse, but that time has passed both in-universe and in the real world, so what might they look like now? Then of course one wonders, what of the rest? Not all of them were so keen to return home. They had entered into a pact with the Dominion, producing Ketracel White, and even diverting resources from Cardassian lines in the latter days of the war. Did they all die out? Did they find a way to keep lengthening their lives through increasingly dangerous scientific methods? Are they even recognizable anymore, or are they simply now a nomadic race wandering the quadrant preying on others like vampires? Someone should really look into that. Number 9. Did those Aldeans all die out or not? The people of Aldea existed mostly in secret before the Enterprise D ran into them. They operated a large planetary shield to keep away outsiders, though this shield caused damage to the world's ozone layer. This damage allowed radiation to filter through, turning the world's population barren. Their way of combating their own extinction was to kidnap the children of the Enterprise, showcasing their fearsome technology as a deterrent against retrieval attempts. When the Bow breaks may not be the finest moment of the Next Generation's first season. To be fair, there aren't many, but there is heart to it. These aren't villains in the truest sense. They're simply desperate and facing the end of their species. In classic Trek fashion, there is a solution, although there is a hole in the plan. Shutting down the shield should allow the ozone to naturally repair itself, which in turn will reverse the population's fertility issues. Sounds wonderful, right? Well, there's a ticking clock here. How long will that reversal take? And will anyone on the planet be alive or still able to have children at that point? It seems a little too up in the air to leave to guessing. This is a story that really does need a follow-up. Number 8. Did Armageddon get the full flavour? There's a lot to like in A Taste of Armageddon. It's one of the classic morality plays from Star Trek. Here is a war that has taken all of the destruction away, consigning the designated victims of strikes to a clean, painless death. Sounds like a terrifying, yet coldly logical form of warfare. The arrival of the Enterprise throws a massive spanner in the works. No one in the audience believed that any of our favourite crew was going into those death machines, so the inevitable shake-up fits perfectly. This war of assignment will end and away the Enterprise flies. Except, what then for a mini R7 and Vendikar? If the war machines go silent, do the rockets start to fly? Has Starfleet condemned this world to utter ruin and decay? Almost 60 years later in real time, this is a planet that badly needs a revisit. Number 7. Is the Dal'Rok still attacking that Bajoran village? The Storyteller is a cute little episode in DS9's first season. It deals with the question of faith and the power that can be derived from it. O'Brien and Bashir discover a village on the surface of Bajor that unites to defeat an entity called the Dal'Rok, using their combined faith to push it away. The Dal'Rok, it transpires, was created by the first Syrah, a spiritual leader that unified the village against the villainous Cloud. He used a fragment of an orb to channel the people's beliefs into a tangible threat. However, it becomes clear that this threat has become very real. The Dal'Rok is fully capable of creating destruction in its wake. Though O'Brien and Bashir discover the truth, they cede control to Hovath, who plans on being the next Syrah. This locks the cycle into motion again. This village was never mentioned again, despite tumultuous events of the Alpha Quadrant and the Dominion War itself. Is the Dal'Rok still messing up people's sleep patterns every week? Does Starfleet know if indeed Bajor has joined the Federation by the 25th century? Did Hovath get exposed? Most importantly, who currently owns that funky Syrah cloak? Number 6. Just who were those space vampires, and where are they now? Star Trek Enterprise elected to make Hoshi the subject for its first episode after the pilot. Here was a character who was afraid of spaceflight, yet was crucial to the crew's understanding of alien life. As a xenolinguist, she would lay some of the groundwork for communications officers to follow. Fight or Flight highlights the horror that can come with space travel. The discovery of the Axanar vessel, full of bodies being slowly drained of their fluids, is a chilling way to start the NX-01's journey into the unknown. Then a secretive enemy appears on screen. Though later beta canon sources would link this ship to the Elahi of Silent Enemy, we, the audience, are still none the wiser as to who these monsters are. Are they truly evil, or closer to the 10C? Do they feed on humanoids the way many humans feed on livestock? They have, officially, never been encountered again. Were they part of a larger force or a single nomadic entity? Were they destroyed by others like the Xindi? Did they make a pit stop at the wrong station? These are one troop of silent actors who should probably be found and identified. Number 5. What's happening on Tyree's world? The famed Korean War-Vietnam parallel, a private little war, sees both Starfleet and the Klingon Empire arming the locals on Ural. Though the messaging was subtle as a brick to the face, in Star Trek, never. It was a poignant, safe approach to a real-world issue. To be fair, not revisiting the world feels more true to reality than not, yet in the confines of the franchise, it seems a rather large dangling thread. Sure, the Federation and the Klingons are allies now. Oh wait, no they aren't. Oh wait, no, yes they are. And round we go. But should their actions go unedited here? At the very least, the Cerritos should be swinging by to see who holds the balance of power on Ural. When the impact of humanity, and others, is on such a large scale, it demands a bit of fixing. If Voyager could manage it in the Delta Quadrant, then surely a ship could pop by for a hello and disarming. Number 4. Is Suspiria really okay with letting Voyager go? Though Coldfire ends with Suspiria leaving Voyager, surprised by their mercy, she retains the power to either save or destroy the ship. As the audience discovered, this was the last time we saw her outside of novel form. Suspiria inhabited a region known to her Ocampan followers as Exosia, described as a place of pure thought and energy. Hearing Tana speak about it, it sounds very cult-like. "Follow me and I will lead you to the better world" is a phrase that has been repeated by cult leaders through time. The String Theory novels revealed that Suspiria and the Caretaker were exiles from Exosia. Did the Ocampa ever discover this? Did Kess's abilities eventually outstrip even the Nacine themselves? For a race of aliens who exist outside of normal space, did Voyager's journey home ever take them truly out of harm's way? There is a wealth of possibilities springing from Star Trek Voyager's get-out-of-jail-free card. Number 3. Thomas Riker's still out there. What's he doing? The 4th season of Star Trek Lower Decks confirmed that Thomas Riker did indeed survive his time in a Cardassian labour camp, going so far as to suggest he had either escaped or been set free. So where now is the twin transporterific brother of a certain William T? Creating Thomas offered a sliding doors moment for Riker. This version of the man, no less real than Will, was a few years behind the time. He still openly loved Deanna, believing them capable of picking up where they left off. She spurned his interest, not out of hate, but out of confusion. Speaking of, it must have been a little confusing for Thomas to discover that she did indeed end up with Will. The turmoil this must have caused, added to the almost certain torture he faced under the lash of a Cardassian whip, would be enough to turn any man's head. Where is Thomas now? What's he doing? Is he, in fact, a dangerous new foe for Starfleet, at a time where, quite frankly, they could use every friend that they could find? Number 2. Where the hell did the Remans go? Star Trek Nemesis finally gave a face to those tidally locked siblings of the Romulans. The Remans evoked memories of Nosferatu, with fangs and bat-like ears to match. They may have been a bit of a shock to see, but they were also among the most striking Star Trek villains to come along in years. So where the hell are they? Once Shinzon's coup failed, the Remans have all but vanished from history. They were referenced in Lower Decks and made a cameo in Enterprise, though of course the latter is a prequel. Did the Romulan Empire return with fire and blood, wiping out their sister world in terrible revenge? That, based on what we know about the Empire, is probably the most likely outcome here. The Romulan supernova put paid to the Empire, but there has never been a mention of the Remans, nor was there any sign of them on Nuvar in the 32nd century. Perhaps their fate is so grim that historians are simply sweeping it under the rug. It would hardly be the first time in history that's happened, now would it? Number 1. Is hell waiting for us all? One of the most frightening loose threads in Star Trek's history was left dangling in Coda. Captain Janeway suffers a near-death experience, reliving some of the same moments over and over, then watching her friends and crew accept her fate. Her father appears to act as a guide in crossing over, only for Janeway to quickly become suspicious of him. His revelation occurs in 2 stages. The first sees him confess to being an alien, who is there to guide her into the next life, ready to help her accept an eternity of joy and happiness. If only he'd stopped there. Pressing him, Janeway discovers that he's nothing of the sort. His species devours the dead, find nourishment from their energy for untold eons. He promises that one day he will be there, ready to feed on her. The episode does offer hope that his species may be native to the Delta Quadrant, but for the love of God, isn't that something we should be certain of? There has rarely been a more chilling notion offered in the history of the franchise.
Hi, I'm Tom Larkin. Last time I told you about my GTN blog. Don't tell Starfleet. Thanks, Squarespace.
Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help entrepreneurs stand out online.
Squarespace allows me to link my social and multimedia accounts in just a few clicks. So you can see everything that GTN has to report, including things Starfleet doesn't want you to know. Squarespace uses Daystrom-approved design intelligence AI technology. Take control and build a beautiful, personalized website catered to your needs. SEO doodads, so you show up to more civilizations more often, but beware, Section 31 is a thing. Go to squarespace.com/TrekCulture, where you will get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And remember, don't tell Starfleet.
On that, thanks very much folks for watching along. We hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much as ever for supporting us here at the channel. Please make sure that you're liking, sharing and subscribing. It makes such a difference. Thank you so much as well to all of you who went to read this article, which is available over on whatculture.com. You can follow us on the various socials at TrekCulture or myself at Sean Ferrick. Until I see you again, make sure that you live long and prosper, look after yourself, be kind to yourself and be kind to others, because you absolutely deserve it. Thanks very much, folks.